Evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Monday Night Mayhem live on YouTube, courtesy of MRL Broadcasting. Mean Gene, Money in the Booth, as always, with my tag team partner, Zach Panzarella, bringing you all the action as our Cup Series finds itself in round number 2. We are live here at Darlington Raceway, the track too tough to tame. In fact, it's so tough, these guys have not been on it in 3 years and 2 six-pack series. Zach, it's taken these guys 3 years to get the testicular fortitude to even try this track.
Yeah, it has, and I get it. I mean, Gene, this is one of the hardest tracks, if not the hardest oval on the schedule. This thing presents so many different unique challenges, and so many drivers are afraid of it. It's called the Lady in Black for a reason, Mean Gene. It strikes fear in the hearts of every driver, every oval driver in the service, indeed.
You keep saying oval, but the damn thing is egg-shaped, right? I mean, I heard an urban legend that they were going to make a regular oval, but there was a duck pond out there, and the owner liked the ducks more than the drivers. So that's why it gets this crazy shape where 2 of the turns are shorter than the other 4. But you know what? I've talked about it a little bit too much. I got an idea. We got a guy down there right now can give us a little more info about it. Hey, Zach, you got that thing fired up?
Yes, I do, Mean Gene, and I'm going to give this my best shot because we're going to do this thing live like Mean Gene loves to, right? But, oh, man, this is a difficult track, guys, like we just talked about. And the reason why is because, first of all, the 2 corners are so different from one another. So it's really hard to find a rhythm. Secondly, the surface is ancient, which makes it really tough to find grip. And fourth, the racing surface is tiny. This right here, these 2 lanes is all you really have to use to make passes and really to race on. Anything else kind of feels like ice or the car doesn't turn. So here we go, Mean Gene, into 1 and 2. And this is a unique corner entry. I have to dive all the way to the bottom here, let it drift up as close to the wall as I can get, and then around this red Coca-Cola sign, start turning back down. And then flat out as early as I can. That was a little bit late, if I'm being honest, but that is as clean as I can go right now. And then here going to 3 and 4. I'm going to shift here to try to help it turn, but there we go. There's my first Darlington stripe of the day. As you see, it actually kind of helped with my speed a little, but can't do that every corner. This isn't NASCAR heat, as we'll try to get this around one more time if I can. I know. All the way to the bottom, to the top. Try to hold it here as long as I can while opening up the throttle. Now down, and now throttle open. That was a little bit better, Mean Gene, and before I ran out of time, as you see, we only have about 2 seconds left. I'm going to try to get into 3 and 4 properly. Lower this time. There we go. And still, look how much Mean Gene it doesn't want to turn. You're going to see so many drivers struggling with that. And again, like usual with Zach on track, these aren't particularly fast laps. What you're about to see these guys put down in qualifying is even faster. As you see, my spotter telling me, enough of that, Zach. That wasn't even that good. But Mean Gene, these boys have a challenge in front of them today.
I tell you what, this thing is insane. Like we said before, these guys have been here they've been racing this series 3 years. They had 2 short series of 6 races. That is 5 opportunities they could have had to get this track on the schedule, and yet MRL officials waited until now. I don't know, maybe the driver skill level is high enough, or maybe they just got enough guys convinced that they should take this thing around. 16 drivers signed up right now for this race, and again, we are in the middle of it, the MRL Cup Series playoffs. This is round 2, race 1 of 3. We're at Darlington this week. Atlanta and Richmond will be the next 2. But let's talk about what happened last week on that cutoff race. We were at Talladega Speedway, and we saw Jay Stinton come in and take his first win of the year. Big Jay, he had some wins last year. Did not make the playoffs, but managed to come in and take that super speedway win. Brandon Guerin, the birthday boy, celebrating his 38th birthday last week. He came in second, and Joe Volpis, earlier a full-time driver, he's relegated now to part-time duties on Monday, took third. Joe Volpis had an opportunity to win this thing, but a huge wreck. In fact, that's what marked all of Talladega last week, was those huge wrecks, as we saw a battle indeed. 2 sides, MC Motorsports versus Checkers or Wreckers. Checkers or Wreckers were led by Matt Tucker 3000 with his good buddy Sean Walton versus the MC Motorsport team of Michael Mata and Bobby Dodson. MC Motorsports down a driver, Jonathan Casebeer, did not make the grid, so it was a 2v2 battle, and we saw these two teams switching spots constantly. Matt Tucker, he took the stage 1 win. Michael Mata led laps, and then at the end, it was that hard pushing that suddenly became an issue for the other drivers. Those guys at the front could handle, it wasn't bump and run, it was smash and dash, as we saw Walton use that front bumper, causing a couple of late cautions, and that ended up being the story indeed. Those cautions opened it up for those other drivers at the end. Joe Volpus, he had that green flag, that restart after the caution where he was in the lead, but then eaten up by the drafting drivers. Jay Stinton managing to take that W away. Curious question, though. This is what I got to wonder right here. Will any of that kind of bleed over in today's race? I do see Sean Walton has just logged in. We do have Michael Mata here tonight. I haven't seen Matt Tucker log in yet. Tucker and Mata were the two fellas that were loving to bang. Sean Walton, he's not afraid to use that front bumper. He didn't do anything out of the ordinary, and he didn't change his driving style all night, so you can't say that he was up to no good. He was just up to the womp things, and that made that race really interesting.
Sean Walton was consistent with what we've seen from him all season, especially as an outsider, as our part-time now, I guess, right? I'm kidding, Kevin. As our producer, Kevin, calls them. They have a different set of priorities, whether it's the playoffs or not, than some of these guys, and you see it bleed over into the races. In terms of it bleeding over today, I'd be surprised and disappointed if it did, Mean Gene. Talladega kind of welcomes that type of aggression and racing style, while we're at Darlington, where you are going to be hearing me talk about racing the track more than anything else today, because you really are racing the track more than your opponents at this place.
Yep, that term he used, the outsiders. I thought that was really good coinage there by Kevin Kyle. Kevin not with us tonight. Kevin, little shout out. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Looking forward to having Kevin back in the booth ASAP. But like we talked about earlier, Zach, this thing's a full reset, right? Playoffs mean you get through elimination and then you magically just find yourself back where you were at the very beginning of that playoff run. So final 8 drivers right now. Let's call them the Elite 8. And as you can see, Tony Iverson finds himself back atop the board. David Cook, guys, got the pole so far in qualifying. He is second in points. There's Jax Duvall. This guy is just consistent, gets incident points, but somehow the Florida man manages to get back up to the top. And Matt Fritz, he is Mr. Consistency. That is your top 4. Who's after that, though? That's the guy I'm keeping an eye on, right?
Yeah, good point. Rounding out the round of 8, the Elite 8, David Owens, who barely got into this round of 8 with just a really uncharacteristically bad round of 12. But here he is, and like you said, me and Gene, it all resets now, and he has a clean slate. Behind him, you got Austin Merrill, the 28, another quiet, clean, and consistent driver, still here in the round of 8, ready to make some noise. Behind him, Buddy Solly, someone to look out for today, racing through an injury. Shout out, Buddy, for even being out here. But, man, Buddy Solly, these are the type of tracks where I'm really, really afraid of him, me and Gene. These are really technical and difficult tracks. Parts of this remind me of Nashville. Watch for him, and also look out for Michael Mata, another very, very fast driver that can do a ton out here and has also been known to be really quick at these technical tracks. But, like you mentioned, me and Gene, David Cook on our pole, and looks like they're gridding up, which means there's only one thing left to do.
And now, race fans, for the most famous words in motorsports, the star of Universal Pictures movie, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry, Kevin James.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops, God bless America, and gentlemen, start your engine!
Whew, that gets me pumped up, me and Gene.
Goosebumps all up and down my arms. That thing right there, Kevin James got this thing going. Drivers starting their car, getting ready to take this thing off. 17 cars on the grid tonight here at Darlington. Going to see exactly what kind of action we have. Now, tonight we are going to be running with one stage break there, or one halfway mark. There will be no caution to signify that, and that's going to come at the end of lap 63. So those guys will be racing to get to that one extra point. That 1 point can make the difference, though, between making it or not. Remember, Justin Parham, he missed it by 1 point. So a stage win would have created a tiebreaker situation, and then we really would have been counting those points. So all those guys need to take that opportunity to get as many points as they can. Zach, I heard we can do about 40 laps on fuel tonight, and when I asked him about tires, Joe Volpus looked me in the face and he said they're on the car. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, tires are going to wear quickly here, me and Gene. I'll tell you that much. They are going to go, and they're going to go fast. So that's going to be fascinating to watch, to see how long these drivers can hold on. It really is going to be a matter of how much you can protect your tires and hold them for later in these runs, because it can get ugly, and it can get ugly quick. But I don't blame drivers like Wolfers for trying to keep that close to the chest, right? That could be your strategy that could make or break your success today. So don't blame them at all for not wanting to give up their cards too early and see where this thing falls. Because also, me and Gene, what I talked about in the Zach on Track, the racing surface here is tiny, which means it oftentimes is kind of hard to bring out a caution here, even though there will be incidents.
Yeah, very curious to see how MRL officials will handle that. Most of the time here on Monday nights, they like to let the iRacing handle it, but let's see what happens. We're looking at David Cook. He is your control car on the inside. He is that 71, that Geico restart zone. Here we go. Nice jump by Cook. He is on that inside, and that lets Iverson and Mata go side by side. Going into turn one, great jump by Cook, and he glides right up into Cook's lane on that outside where he loves to run. A little back further in the pack. A little bit of side by side. The 21 gets loose,
oh, we got
there's
a big
wreck
action.
almost
Oh my
immediately.
goodness, me and Gene. That was the number 3 of Walton upside down.
Whoa.
Upside down, me and Gene, and Buddy Sully was in that, and he got some big damage from that. Oh my, that was a crazy way to start this one.
And you can see Buddy Sully running that 21 sit-go. I'm going to call it the Morgan Shepherd paint scheme just to be a funny guy.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh man, so I think this may have started with someone getting loose out of 2. And was it that 16 of Mata? Keep your eye on that 16. Oh, it looks like it was actually Sully who got a little bit loose, me and Gene. Let me see if I can get us a better camera angle of that.
Up
Here
there on the 28 is small.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so it looks like Sully hits the wall here, gets the tiniest bit checked up because of the wall hit, and there just isn't a ton of places Marrow can go, right?
Yeah, and then you could see that was, wow.
Yep. That is exactly what happened there, me and Gene.
And then you watch the Pride 3 Chevrolet come in, and he just gets turned inside out.
Yes, he does. What was that onboard like? You know me and my onboards.
Wow.
Let's get in the cockpit with Sean Walton.
You know,
see what it's like
Sean Walton thought he was going one way, and it turns out he goes the other way.
How fast did this happen? Oh my! And just listen to that sad throttle. Oh, Sean Walton. That's a rough one for Walton. That's going to obviously be a tow. They don't have the Grand Theft Auto physics where they can just come back up, but that is massive implications to start this race, me and Gene.
Yeah, let's go ahead and write down number 1 next to my yellow, my yellow tracker. That was something right there. So yeah, it looked like Sully got a little loose. As you said, tires become an issue immediately, and I think here they just weren't warmed up yet.
I totally agree.
And the car pushed up a little bit, and all of a sudden you're touching. Looks like David Cook also. He is listed as a 71, but is he running a 41 tonight?
Yeah, so I do apologize when the broadcast first started for the confusion with the paint schemes. I was updating it because a lot of people, we're at Darlington, so one of the traditions here is to run a throwback, and then a lot of our awesome drivers are participating in that, and we'll show you guys closer looks at that as the race goes on. But I'm not sure what happened there with Cook, but I thought maybe he changed it last second and had another one, so I refreshed it, and it kind of made the 13 out of whack as well. But now I see that Baby Ruth at the 13 is back. Tony Iverson's looking great, but yeah, so David Cook just decided to confuse us all day. Appreciate that, David.
And let's see here. Looks like Jonathan K. Sabir is running that Tony Stewart Home Depot paint job.
That one looks
kind of
good.
like that one.
We got a Tony Stewart throwback. I got some cool pictures to share with us later for some of them as well, including the Cook one. Or not the Cook one, the Iverson one. But yeah, we got some really, really cool paint schemes out here. Everyone going all in on the theme, which is honestly one of the most fun parts about this weekend.
I'll play 20 questions with you. How about that Joe Vulpes? Can you name the driver that ran that?
You're gonna.
That's a
I'm
Robbie
gonna come
Gordon,
off like.
Robbie Gordon car.
Let's see.
Robbie
That is a
Gordon was
Robbie
the
Gordon
owner,
car.
though. He was
Yep.
the owner, not the driver. We're going to get back to the viewers later. We're about to go green again. David Cook, he is your control car.
And here we go, Eugene. Green flag.
And he gets a great jump in that 41 Kodiak. That guy just gets great restarts, doesn't he? You got Iverson and K.
Every time.
Sabir side by side behind
Oh, wow.
that. Oh, K.
Wow.
Sabir put Iverson into the wall, said, hey, you don't have your stripe yet. Let me get you one. And Tony Iverson just got promoted. Usually getting a stripe's a good thing in the military, but it sure is not as a driver. You know, Iverson's going to have some fun stuff to say. Jonathan's a pretty clean driver. Maybe he just was sad that he missed out last week on all that stuff that happened at Talladega. Single file now, very quickly here. With these drivers, Cook, Sabir, Bollinger. Last week, the 53 of Colin Bollinger, he was part of that checker or wrecker, outsider nightmare. He's come back today in that 53 Toyota. We'll see what he can do. Tony Iverson, Joe Vulpes, David Owens, Justin Parham, and my cat trying to get on my keyboard. You got to go.
Yeah, that was an intense little moment there from Sabir and Iverson. Yeah, I obviously don't think anything intentional from Sabir. Just got in that corner way too hot. And unfortunately, Tony Iverson having to suffer the repercussions of that far more than I think Sabir did. You even tell that after that happened, Iverson thought he had a lot more damage than he did. He was having a hard time even having confidence going into 3 and 4. And look how loose that car in front, Bollinger in front of Iverson gets right there. Me and Gene almost losing it on the exit of 2 there, and that's all Iverson needed to get to the bottom and likely complete this pass through 3 and 4 to move back up to 3rd place.
Yeah, you can see 53 wiggling right there. Iverson putting the moves on him. Iverson, such a good driver, so consistent, but now he's going to need more than consistency here today. He's going to need some straight up speed. As you can see, that gap, almost 2 seconds between Iverson and Cook. Sabir in the middle of that, 1 second back, and you can really see all that single file racing all the way up and down now as these guys are trying to just get around. A little bit of action in the back. I can see the 48 of Fritz and David Owens having a little party back from 6th and 7th place, but Owens settles in, and Fritz is going to get right behind him. So pretty much all the way through this thing right now, as I'm looking back, we're seeing a lot of that single file stuff going on. Oh,
yeah,
except
Fritz,
for, of course, our boy Sean Walton. He wants to get a little wiggly with it.
Yeah, that was a big moment there. We got a lot of cars struggling on these exits of these corners, and now I just heard a car on the wall there. We're just going to keep hearing more and more of that, me and Gene, and it's just going to happen more and more often. These cars do not get easier to drive as the run goes on. It only gets more difficult. You're already seeing people face the repercussions of not protecting their tires through what was that, like probably 7 or 8 laps of green flag racing. It can catch up to you that quick here. And also one thing to note, me and Gene, the differentials. We already have about 3 seconds between 1st and 5th place, so already big gaps forming here.
And I see back there Buddy Sully moving out of the way, letting guys go by him, even though Sully was shown in 8th. He's just letting fellas zip on by. I think Sully's probably got a little damage left on that car. You could see Walton getting on the inside, and watch how quickly he's going to give up that position as well to Hillman in that 904 underneath. You can see Sully just kind of riding high, letting those guys zip on by. Oh, and Sully hits the wall again. Something's bad's going on back there. Remember, you know, Buddy and Sully and Michael Mata were 2 of the fastest drivers in the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, but this is a reset. You know, or the first 3 races. This is a reset. This is round 2, and those 2 guys are at the bottom, 18 points back of the leaders. And as far as that cutoff line, they're 8 points back of that cutoff. So bad races by either one of those could bite them right in the backside. And right now, running in the back, that's not going to help out Buddy Sully. Maybe he's just coasting, trying to get that car on track until he has an opportunity to put the ball peen hammer and the duct tape to it.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Mean Gene. First of all, that he doesn't have that buffer that he had anymore. First of all, it was a win, too. But even without that win, he would have had a beautiful buffer to where he could have gone into Talladega pretty stress-free. But yeah, that goes away right now. And I know this is a track that he came into with tons of confidence, but I'm struggling to understand the fact that that car didn't hit the pits after that incident. It clearly got hit a few times. You can see the damage kind of crinkled up around the right front corner. As if you listen carefully, I'm hearing cars hit the wall every turn, Mean Gene. But anyway, Buddy Sully wouldn't have lost the lap, and he probably couldn't, or could have saved that fast repair and at least gotten, that hammer out there and made the car a little bit more drivable and gotten that track position back the hard way. But electing to kind of instead be a sitting duck for the top 10 here, going to be interesting to see if this race does stay green, how he's going to be able to recover from that.
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to risk it right now, want to stay on that lead lap until he's forced to make a decision. A little bit further back, we can see Colin Bollinger. He has righted the ship, as one might say. He's in fourth. Joe Volpus, David Owens, Justin Parham. Those four cars were pretty close a little while ago, but they're starting to space out a little bit now. But David Owens, he started in 12th, hard charging his way up into 6th. Really looking good run out there for the number 11. And remember, he and Volpus are teammates, Gulf Coast Racing. So if Owens is faster, wouldn't be surprised at all for to see Joe Volpus save some tires, let him go by, and just play follow the leader.
And did you see, look at Quesabir just hitting that wall every other corner, it seems, Mean Gene, as I'm sure he knows that Tony Iverson not super thrilled with him after what happened in that restart, gives him that spot without too many issues. But everywhere I'm seeing close cars, like, less than a couple car lengths separating them, like looks like some around here with Owens back here. Around that, you'll find cars hitting the wall. It seems like it's either dirty air or just the pressure that other cars give you, but look how high that 07, I believe that's Volpus right there, is getting. He did a great job bringing it back down there. But if you watch these cars for long enough, if there goes Owens into the wall a little bit, you see them smack the wall so often, Gene. I'm really curious to see how long these cars can hold on without any noticeable damage, and who will be the first one if it does happen to someone to maybe break a toe link or have some damage that makes it to where they have to come down and use that fast repair.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate reality of these cars, is that if they whack that wall a little bit hard, they will lose that toe link, and you can't drive that car sideways. So that will be when we start to see some of these cars being forced into that pit situation. But right now, lap 18, they say they can make it to about 40 on the fuel, and lap 63 is where we're going to get that stage break. So we're definitely going to get some pit action coming up. But right now, about all these guys are running on 19 laps on these cars. And Owens and Volpus just really putting down some good laps right now. Another guy, Tony Iverson, he's in second right now, and he's cut that gap down to about 1.3. Remember, he was 2 seconds down about 10 laps ago. So he's trying to cruise and get in there. But, David Cook, he's that kind of guy, check in, check out. And he'd love to just check out and take this thing all the way, at least to that first pit stop. And then, of course, that's where strategy and mistakes start to come into effect.
Yeah, definitely something that Cook would like to do, but Iverson absolutely is putting down faster laps than him, about 2/10 that last time around. So something to look out for to see if he can get to him before that pit cycle starts. Or if, I'm curious to see if anyone here wants to split up these pit cycles. I know you can go 40 on gas, but do you want to go that long on tires? If you have enough sets, or if you feel like there'll be enough cautions, maybe you want to split this up and get the time back that way, because these guys are already, Mean Gene, they're a second plus off the pace as what their fastest laps were. So these old tires are no joke, and we're only halfway done with this run.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens. 20 laps, we're down 1 second. Let's see what happens over the next 5 laps, because these things are going to start wearing in, compounding the wear once they're running at this higher temperature. And right now, it looks like Quesabir in the 53 of Bollinger having an interesting conversation. Bollinger's just going to zip right around Quesabir. Owens now closing that gap. You can see Owens in that red and white scheme car closing in on that Tony Stewart throwback. Let's see what kind of business Owens can make in this turn. Owens going to stay high. That's where Case of Beer runs. I think if Owens wants to get that clean pass, he's going to have to take a page out of Bollinger's book and go down low.
Yeah, it looks like Owens maybe was trying to go high there to potentially set up a run, not quite working out the way he needs to. But I think Case of Beer, more than most of our front runners right now, really showing the effects of not saving your stuff as well as the others around you. As you saw Bollinger make easy work of him and drive away pretty much in a hurry, and Iverson has already gapped him by a second and a half, and they were around each other no more than 5 laps ago, me and Gene. So really goes to show how important it is to save your stuff here and be patient. Also, Owens, I think, knowing that and not wanting to burn anything up, making a pass here and just wait for his opportunity. He's seen Case of Beer hit the wall plenty of times in front of him. He knows his opportunity will come soon.
And I think that high line is the way to go. You got to be up on that top. Here's Owens now trying to push it. But it's an extra half a second, I think, on these older tires. Ooh, Owens, can he make it stick? And he does.
Nice.
Great pass there by Zero Chill. And he's going to take over into that 4th position. David Owens with a good run here early, trying to avoid the mayhem and collect himself some points. And as I look around the track, that high line's the way to go. Eventually, you're going to whack a wall. Somebody's going to do something. But it's the difference between running a 29.4 and a 29.8 or a 29.9. You know, Iverson, a little bit slower that time. We saw him try to go low, ran that 29.8, whereas Cook, he rode that wall the whole outside of that lap, and he put in that 29.4, followed up by a 29.5. So that outside lane's the way to go, but it could bite you, right, Zach? That stripe could suddenly turn into a dent.
It really can, and it seems like once you go in too deep and it's going up to that wall, there really isn't much you can do. We're running on board right now with David Cook, one of the guys putting down some of the fastest laps in the track, has actually evened out quite nicely with Iverson and now starting to put down the fastest laps. And yeah, just like I kind of showed you guys during Zach on track. Oh, do we have an incident?
Well, Sully went into the wall a little bit, and Mata touched him, but got by Sully.
We have a caution, actually. We do have a caution.
Yeah. It's not those 4 guys. I was watching.
It is not. Let's see what it was. Oh, it looks like Jack Sanders. Is that Jack Sanders? Yes. Wait. Looks like the 26.
Oh,
I can't tell.
He finished it off.
He did. So let's take a look at this. The 904 of Hillman in front of him.
Yeah, that is
and just
the
grazes
26.
that wall. Oh.
That looks like the 26 of Mason Smalley.
That was the 26.
Smalley was eliminated last week. He's running that beautiful DuPont Pepsi scheme.
A brutal hit from Smalley, though. Just gets loose here. Around he goes. Well, that'll be interesting in terms of
he's
pitting,
still riding up in that wall, too. Look at that. He's having trouble, and his car comes to a complete stop, and he's going to take a tow.
Yep, there he is.
And this just in, looks like Sean Walton has put it behind the wall. That's right, Sean Walton, running in that Pride number 3 Chevrolet, has called it a day. I don't know, is there a throwback Pride car?
I mean, I was gonna say that scheme is technically a throwback. It's that Earnhardt Sam Bass scheme, or not Sam Bass. I forget who made it, but yeah, it's a throwback.
Sam Bass must have a checkered past. I didn't know that about him. All right, so David Cook still being shown as your leader, and the pits are open, and here they come. I'm taking an eye. You can see Cook right there in that Kodiak car. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, tobacco has been known to cause cancer, so be aware if you're going to smoke or dip that you could be taking your life into your own hands. Meanwhile, alcohol, on the other hand, good stuff. Did he not take tires? Is that what just happened?
He took 0 or 2.
I didn't see that car go up. I didn't see that car go up at all.
It was only in there for 6 seconds. 6.9, nice. So it potentially did not. Let's see.
Well,
you can never really tell, right?
Hey, I tell you what, though, a lot can happen in 6.8 seconds. Ask my pregnant ex-girlfriend. Life goes at you fast.
It's true. So that's gonna, he's gonna get eaten alive. I'll tell you guys that right now.
What on earth? I thought he and I had to talk about tires. We talked about the importance of how many times have we seen David Cook leading a race at the end, takes the chance of no tires, and he gets eaten like one of the ghosts in Pac-Man.
Yeah, I mean, you literally had our new president give him advice last week about that exact thing. And
I wonder,
here we
is
are.
he saving? You know, I did talk to Owens before the race, David Owens, the driver of the number 11 Ford, and he did say, I wish we had one more set of tires.
Then maybe that's it.
Is that what's happening? Is David Cook using that imaginary I wish set of tires right now? David Cook, he's second in points. He's only 8 behind Iverson. Is he willing to forfeit that 1 point for that stage break? To be in the catbird seat with that extra set of tires at the end.
Yes and no, right? Like, so much still has to go right for David Cook for that to happen. But I get the mentality. And one thing that is worth pointing out as well, Mean Gene, it's not just him. It's this man as well. This guy is also on either 0 or 2, I'm assuming 0, tires. And we saw a case of beer struggling even worse than Cook was in terms of keeping those tires alive. So, I mean, yes, in the way that if things go the way they're supposed to, he should end up with an extra set. And that is the race right there. That would win him the race. No, as in, have fun surviving this and whatever damage it's going to do to your race, whether it be the race car or how much track position you're about to lose.
Yep. This just in, Mason Smalley has taken it behind the wall, the driver of the 26 Chevrolet. He was eliminated last week, and now he is eliminated here on lap 30 as we are experiencing our third caution of the day.
Second. Right? I could be wrong. Yeah, we had the flip.
It could be 2.
And then
it could be 3.
I mean, it's going to be the third one right now. With this
so, ladies and gentlemen, while we're on through this caution, take this opportunity to go ahead and tell your friends about MRL Monday Night Mayhem. Let's get some more subscribers. Call your friends, call your neighbors. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like what you're seeing. And how could you not? As Darlington has put on a show. Here we go. Let's see what Cook does on this restart. He fires off like a slingshot. Again, Cook is just so consistent as far as that restart goes, and that is going to put him a good couple of car lengths ahead as the other guys side by side trying to make some racing. Ooh, case of beer trying to hold on, and he does. Good driving right there out of that number 6 Home Depot car. And Colin Bollinger, number 53, trying to make a chase. He's on fresh tires. Iverson underneath of a case of beer, also on fresh tires. David Owens coming into the picture. That's your top 5.
We had a healthy hit to the wall from Mata there. That was a massive slap coming out of 2 from Mata. We'll see how much damage that did to his car and if he's able to continue on without any issues. But Case of Beer doing an excellent job on those older tires, and same with Cook. I believe still in the lead. Oh, no, as we see the 53 of Bollinger able to get around Cook. No surprise there with those older tires. This is all just about minimizing the damage here if you're Cook in Case of Beer. Keeping that lead is no longer going to be a thing. It's just going to be about keeping that track position and the best you can and keeping that car healthy the best you can. But this is not going to be a fun bunch of laps for that 41/71 of David Cook, or that 6 of Case of Beer, as you just saw him slap the wall again on the exit there, Mean Gene.
Little slappy. And that is not what you want to be doing to the right side of your car. Here, look at the Iverson putting this move on Cook. Cook is in Cook's lane, but that's not going to be enough to hold off that 13 Baby Ruth of Tony Iverson. He pushes his way up into second place. Iverson was running so smooth in that first part of this stage. I think now with those fresh tires, he might be chasing down Colin Bollinger. But Bollinger, he's no slouch. That guy is a contender on the Wednesday night Xfinity series. But this is Monday night. This is Tony Iverson territory, and he is going to try his best to chase him down. Another guy putting down the chase is David Owens, closing the gap behind Cook. Owens also on fresh tires, so he'd love to put his name in there.
Tony
And
Iverson
that
to the lead,
path
me and
is
Gene.
Clean. So
That
clean.
was so nice. Oh my god, and so much more difficult to do than it looks like. Like we talked about, that yeah, it has that super unique entry where you got to kind of enter low and drift up, and you're just praying that 53 of Bollinger isn't there anymore and you've cleared him, and you have to send it in so much more deeper than you're comfortable with. Great job by Iverson. As I was showing off his car a little bit there, throwing it back to one of his favorite drivers, Jeff Gordon, or he's called him Jeff Goten. And that Jeff Gordon, I believe that was his rookie year in that Baby Ruth car. That Ford, kind of weird to see, but awesome paint scheme nonetheless. I love that Jeff Gordon paint scheme so much. And doing it proud and doing what Jeff Gordon did, being up front.
Is that a Thunderbird?
I think it is, isn't it? That is a Thunderbird. Yep.
Like a Ford Thunderbird. That's a good-looking car. You know, another guy out there running in a Ford is Buddy Sully. Looks like he's got this thing going the way he needs to now. He's got the fresh tires on it. Probably did a little bit of hammering on that car, Buddy Sully. He just overtook Cook. That's what put Buddy Sully into 5th. And the mitigating of losing position now in full effect. David Cook back into 6th. Jonathan Quesabir back into 8th. Another guy that looked like he was up to something was Jax Duvall. He's in 13th. He only had a 3.9 second pit stop. Maybe he pitted twice.
I believe Duvall must have pit twice. I think you're right about that. I think Duvall is so known for doing those little top offs at the end of pit cycles to get a little bit more gas than the rest of the field. It oftentimes ends up working for him. I am trying to do math in my head, which has proven to be never fortuitous for me on these broadcasts. But oh man, did you see that? Mata and Cook get together there. That was a sketchy moment there. And this is what happens when the two cars are in different situations. I don't think so either, me and Gene. And here we go, side by side into 1 and 2, as Cook just cannot get that thing to stick to the bottom the way he wants it to. Good luck making it turn back down. David Cook with such good car control. Still slaps the wall a healthy amount. Yes, he does.
Mata definitely had some big brass ones right there. Did you see the way that he just cut down in front of the nose of Cook, assuming Cook would let off and not cause an incident? And Justin Parham, he's showing up into that picture, going to eat up David Cook as well. As we can see, Cook just going the wrong way now in 8th place, 5.5 seconds behind your leader. Jonathan Quesabir, a full 8.5, 9 seconds behind the leader back in 11th. So these guys definitely in it for the long haul as far as tire strategy. That has to be the only answer. They've raced too long to think they could have gotten away with it as far as the results of this stage go. So these guys definitely playing the long game strategy of saving that extra set of tires.
I think it's that, me and Gene, and like I was saying before, David Cook distracted me with his insanity, is that I think that they're not only doing a little bit of strategy, but the math I'm doing in my head, you can do 40 laps per, tank of gas, like we talked about. If you're one of these guys who already pit, a Tony Iverson, a Bollinger, there's really no incentive to pit again around lap 50 when you're in the window to make it on 2 more stops. However, if you're Cook, that I think is when we're going to see him bring it in very, very soon. Within the next 5 to 8 laps, I think Cook in the 6 of Quesabir will bring it in, and that's where they'll try to get that time back. That's where they'll find that delta. And I think will also effectively for them in their minds take out a pit stop, while also or either take out a pit stop for them or give them an extra set of tires. So I get it. Just a lot has to go right, and specifically right?
Well, that's how you win races. You win it on the track, but you also win it in the pits, and you win with strategy. You only have to pick select races to win. This is definitely one of them, and if you could win that thing in the pits, that would be a heck of an accomplishment. Speaking of needing something to happen, Austin Merrow, right now he is a playoff driver, started this thing 6th tonight, 2 laps down, back in 15th place. Lucky for him, the field is not too large, 17 drivers tonight. If they'd had one of those Talladega-sized fields, that could be seriously detrimental. But Merrow definitely in need of a couple of cautions to get this thing back onto the straight and narrow.
Yeah, look at that. And he's got a spin in front of him. That's Quesabir around in front of him, and there's the caution. What are the odds of that? Did you see that?
Wow. I was terrified he was about to T-bone the guy.
Same. We're running on board here.
Whoa,
and I was gonna...
What was that in front of him?
So, he just got
contact.
Yes, they did. Who was Quesabir around? So let's get it on a better camera real quick. And that is the 25 of Jack Sanders.
Oh, the Colonel.
Whoa,
Oh,
that.
Wow. Wow. That looked like a
that-
Sean Walton bump draft, didn't it?
Yeah, what happened there? I'm not
He
seeing
said,
anything leading up to this.
I've heard the power of Christ compels you. I guess the power of Earnhardt compelled Jack Sanders.
Oh.
And he thought that was Terry Labonte in front of him.
Okay, so he's going to enter lower, I'm assuming.
Hmm?
No, I mean, Quesabir nades the corner
Earnhardt
perfectly.
in 3, 2, 1. Boom.
There's going to be some hurt feelings from
Wow.
that one.
I think there's going to be some EOL penalties after that one. That was quite the ride right there. But as we said, Austin Merrill, the beneficiary. And, you know, we were talking about strategy, and the pits are filled. People coming in to get fuel.
So let's see what
how that
Iverson does
affects
here.
everybody.
Okay, that was no tires for Iverson. He was in and
I
out of
guess
there in
it's
an
his
instant.
turn.
Yes,
It's
it
his
is.
turn to get that extra set.
It is, Mean Gene. Right, you are. Looks like Bollinger wants another
And
set.
I saw the 41 of Cook come down with tires. So Cook using those tires now, 13.7 seconds. He took both. He took left and rights in that 41 Chevrolet. So interesting how all of a sudden that caution throws it around. Oh, and how about this? The
where'd Bollinger go?
53 of Colin Bollinger suddenly behind the wall.
Yeah, I just found him. I'm trying to see if I can figure out what the heck happened, Mean Gene. We're under caution here.
Said he manually disconnected as well.
Okay, so shouldn't be a connection issue. Here he is.
No, that
I'm
was
gonna
a
go, I'm gonna fast
conscious
forward a little
choice.
bit. There he goes. And he's maybe just gonna call it a day. Through here. All clean. And he's gone. Huh. Well, we will try to figure that out. Very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. But up front, championship drivers, Tony Iverson, David Owens, Joe Volpus, part-time driver, but still full-time winner. Buddy Sully, Michael Mata, Justin Parham, Alex Hillman, Matthew Fritz, David Cook, going to be 9th after getting 4 freshies. And Hunter Hall, running in that number 12 Chevrolet, finds himself in 10th place. So lots of cars out there didn't take tires, but we do see the 8, 9, and 10 did. So
Exactly.
be curious to
And
see
Duvall as
on this
well.
restart.
Looks like Duvall
And
wants
the
some
funny
tires as
thing
well.
is, they quote unquote save tires for later, but guess what? We're 15 laps away from that stage break. So suddenly the guy we thought was throwing away the stage has the
Right?
freshest tires on the track.
How crazy is that? Like, that could not have worked out better for Cook. And I was actually thinking, like, that might... I mean, it kind of throws Cook's strategy a little bit out the window, but at the same time, not really. He gets to bunch the field back up. So actually, I think this is better for David Cook because no one took those tires. So it's an even field now in terms of how many sets you have left, but he has way fresher ones. This should not be too difficult for him. He just has to be patient here. And he also
Now,
doesn't have to
let
worry
me
about
ask you
Quesabir
this.
as much.
How about Matthew Fritz there? 10.6 seconds. You think he took righties?
Ooh,
I
good
thought he was
point.
part of that gang that took 4 earlier.
That's a great point. At 10.6, that tells me righties. I think you're correct there. Or a horrible gas stop. Well, we're lining up here, Mean Gene. We are side by side, and we have, due to all the unpredictability of this one and all the different strategies, we got some new faces up here for the most part. I haven't really seen David Owens have this chance yet.
Nope, but he's been charging all day that a control car is going to be Tony Iverson. He is that white baby Ruth on the inside, Owens on the outside. We're about to hit that restart zone. Michael Mata up in the front, Joe Volpus. Look at that jump Iverson gets, and that's going to put Volpus and Owens side by side. You can see how quick Mata's going to fall into line, and these guys trying to go single file. Hillman down below in that Texaco 904, that throwback. Is that a Bobby Allison throwback? And then he's got
It
Cook
is.
back there with him. He's side by side, Parham and Hillman, and Cook trying to get by those guys. Cook should have the fresher tires, but he doesn't want to take any chances. Do not want to be part of a caution, especially at this stage of the championship. Race number 1 of 3 here in that second round, and going next week to tracks where you might not have quite as much control, going to Atlanta and Richmond. You need to make the best you can out of this lady in black. And right now, that's exactly what Tony Iverson is doing. As we see him as your race leader, let's see what kind of
Here
laps
goes
are going to put
Hillman.
down on those older tires.
Him into the bottom of Parham and doing what we talked about earlier that Iverson managed not to do. It's so easy to oversend it going into 1 and 2 when you're trying to make it overtake and just brush that wall. But Hillman able to keep his momentum there and continue his charge now, working up closer to the top 5. David Cook also, as you can see, trying to be patient here, but clearly with more speed than the cars in front of him. But it's a 1 car at a time process here. You can't make 3 wide moves. You've got to be patient, and you don't want to be too close to the cars battling in front of you, so you never know what's going to happen. But watch for that 41/71
right there.
Yes, he did. That was quick work, and he needs to do the same to Hillman. But we'll have to keep our eye on him. But Iverson and Owens also already starting to put some distance on this group of cars. Already 2 seconds back to these guys.
Yeah, and you can see right behind that, looks like Buddy Sully's finally found some speed in that 21 Ford. And so those 3 guys right there trying to pull away, but you can see it's slowly spreading out. There's a gap behind them where Vulpes and Mata side by side doing a little bit of racing. Oh, and everybody taps the wall until we run back into, and there's Cook trying to put that move on Hillman, and he does. And quickly, David Cook pushes his way into 6th place on those fresher tires. Next on his list is the Extends 07 of Joe Vulpes.
Yeah, so lay it on me. Who is? Oh, I shouldn't say that about that sponsor. But who is that again?
You
Who
really
drove
want
that
the
car?
Extends to lay it on? You don't want the Extends to lay it on.
No, I
you.
don't want the Extends to lay it on me. I'm not.
And
I'm
look
not
at
in the
that,
free
how
car.
quickly. I guess that Extends didn't last as long as it was supposed to, because David Cook just zipped around him quicker than a hiccup.
Yes, he did. Those 5 hours are already up, and it's no longer performing. As up to the top 5 goes David Cook. But hey, that's good news for Vulpes. He doesn't have to call the ER or anything. Looks like I saw some smoke up there, but I'm assuming just another Darlington stripe. Nothing new. And it looks the guys that I was predicting to be in our top 5 are the 5 that are now, me and Gene. Especially, I was really looking for Sully, Mata, and Cook. Those guys love the technical tracks, and look where they are now.
Yeah, those dudes right there. But the guys that they're chasing down are just champions. You know, Tony Iverson, our current point leader, David Owens, he's won championships before. Those 2 guys putting it down. Buddy Sully, you know, he showed the most speed, in my opinion, in that first round of the playoffs. So these guys right here, this top 5, just some amazing work. Behind them, those guys, no slouches as well. But that top 5, like you said, these have just been the cream of the class at the first and second part of our season. It's really good to see now who's going to be hot this part.
Oh, and there's a nice solid hit by Owens in the wall. Just look how sketchy this gets, me and Gene, when these cars are this close together, when dirty air starts to play a role, and when these guys are feeling the pressure. You can see Owens' car there not turn the way he wants to. Sully's loose. And look at Mata here just trying to be as patient as he can. As if you go 1 car behind here, David Cook already the inside of Mata. Look how crazy this group of 5 is, me and Gene.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying watching this racing right now. We're on lap 58. The end of lap 63 is where we're going to award those points. So we're just 5 laps away from making that happen. David Cook, he's got to get by Owens. Oh, and Mata and Owens just decide to have a big time right there. Is Owens not waiting? Mata is a lap driver. He's 4th.
No, that's a position.
So Mata is part of this top part. Mm-hmm. Ooh, Cook back right off too, didn't he? He did not want to
he did.
That action.
Y'all have fun. That's what David Cook was saying there. And look at that was so smart by Cook. But look at how much Mata got stalled out there, and Cook is able to pounce. He might get a 2-for-1 special here, me and Gene. Look at that. I think this will be 2 cars for the price of 1, and this is how you give yourself a chance to win a stage and get that valuable playoff point. And that was a brilliant move by David Cook. He saw what was going on in front of him. He knew they were going to race side by side. As there goes Owens on the wall again. He knew they were going to race side by side into that corner, so he just backed it up and made sure he was ripping that exit. And look how well that worked out. And now Buddy Sully putting some pressure on Iverson, wanting a chance at that stage win. This is going to be another really, really interesting development in our playoff battle.
Yeah, Iverson, though, 0.2 seconds over Buddy Sully. Yeah, Sully at the bottom of that point scale, needing to make up that gap. A win, of course, will do it. But hey, ooh, and look at that little contact back there.
And Iverson gets loose, Mean Gene, and there goes Sully to the outside. There's action all over the track right now. You'd swear these guys think there's a caution at the end of this stage, as there goes Iverson with yet another not great exit. And here goes Sully to the inside, and he's going to let it rip from the bottom. Can he make it stick? He can't. He hits the wall. Iverson's going to try to fight back on the bottom. This is giving Cook an opportunity. We're going to have a three-way battle for the stage win.
And remember, it's the end of lap 63. So these guys have got to finish this thing off one more time around. It's going to do it, but all three of these cars. What about the tires? I mean, 16 laps. Are the tires even now? Or do you think the 40 Cook still got a little bit left, more than them?
I think he should have a tiny bit left, but it's going to be hard to use. And like we said earlier, you kind of got to make your passes one at a time. You got lucky with that 2-for-1 special earlier. Now it's going to be asking a lot to be able to get past both these cars of one lap, as Sully is really, really doing a great job of protecting his tires. And a lot of times, me and Gene, we don't talk about this enough. It's not just the ability to wow, look at how much entry speed that 41 had.
Yeah,
but it's not just the
Sully's going to take that stage right here.
Sully is going to take that stage win. Huge for him. Great recovery from the early incident in this race. Buddy Sully, as we get to our halfway point, takes home that stage. But me and Gene, it's not just about how you protect your tires. It's about how you drive with worn down tires. Some guys are better at it than others, and Buddy Sully has proven time and time again to be one of the guys that does not get scared and doesn't lose that much pace on old tires.
Yeah, I really thought we were going to see Cook push to the front. He's still got some laps to do it, but he's got to get by Iverson and Sully. You know, Iverson, the fastest driver all year, Buddy Sully, the fastest driver the second part of the season. So Cook got his work cut out for him. Right now, he's got those two, and right behind him, Michael Mata, second fastest driver, I think, once the playoffs started. So Cook's got his hands full. That fifth driver, David Owens, started to fade just a little bit. And it's just these top four guys right now. Look how brave Cook is to take it that high with Iverson on the inside of him.
Oh, wow. Yeah, here we go. And yeah, as you see Duvall catching up as well with those newer tires as he made a move on
Iverson chose, Cook chose to do this. Cook chose to go up here.
That is impressive, especially through 1 and 2. What a squeeze job that was. Just really made sure Iverson knew he was there.
I guess the boy did have the balls to pass him on the outside.
Yeah, he did. I mean, that's a great way to do it, too, because he just made sure Iverson knew, hey, buddy, I'm here. You can't slide up. And Iverson, as we know.
Look at him pull away, too. That outside lane, Cook's lane, is wide open. The toll fees are been shut down. And Cook just making that chase. I wondered if he had enough tire left, and it looks like it's really affecting the other guys a little bit more than him. Let's see this next lap time when they come across that start-finish.
Listen to how early, just like Mata, and there goes Mata on the wall, and that should be all it takes, me and Gene. This could be the battle, there it is, the pass for the lead. David Cook to the lead. Not going to get the stage win, but he's looking really, really good at the big trophy right now.
Yeah, lap 67, Cook makes that move to take the lead, and he is now on a rail, 22 laps into this thing. He has the freshest tires. I think if he needs to, he's proven that he could run another 18, push it all the way if he needs to, depending on that fuel strategy. Already, he's got a second lead pulling away. And you could just see behind them how this thing is starting to spread out. Really got to be pleased with the strategy that he had. This just in, Zach, Hunter Hall, the driver of the 12 Ford, he has pulled it behind the garage. The lady in black has claimed 4 cars now. Another 2 are 1 lap down. So you got 11 cars on that lead lap.
Did you see that, Mean Gene? I have to go back real quick. It was synchronized wall hitting. I mean, this could be an Olympic sport. Just watch this exit of two right here. Ready? There's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. Oh my gosh. Our top 3 cars just making good
Same
work of the wall
spot.
right there. That's too funny. But yeah, I mean, this track, as
The
we
lucky
just saw with our
spot.
3 best drivers smacking the walls, we're talking about Hunter Call saying, I've had enough. It's not for everybody. This track takes a lot of work. And when I saw the lap count for this race today, Mean Gene, I was not very envious of these drivers. I love this track. Unlike most people, I really do love Darlington. But 125 laps around here, oh my goodness. That's a tall task mentally and physically, so I don't blame some of these guys for tapping out, and I'm sure maybe their cars have too much damage to continue, but man, I cannot say enough about the laps that David Cook is putting down right now. That is a rocket ship.
Well, you know, there's a lot of different things that go on out there. I mean, number one, your car could get hit. You could take some front end damage. You could take some rear damage. You take a hard hit. You take physical damage. And of course, there's always
emotional damage.
And you just got to pull that thing behind. You know, we were talking earlier in this about the playoff situation, a driver that we're not always calling his name, but he manages to find his way up into the front. Look at the progress of that 84 Maxwell House Chevrolet of Jax Duvall. He's in 4th. He's got fresher tires than the other 2 guys in front of him, and he's closing the gap on Iverson and Sully. Look at the move Duvall is now trying to put on our series leader. He's under him, and he's going to go right on by.
Great move by Duvall, and yeah, he's putting down actually faster laps than Cook is right now, and he's doing this while going through traffic, so do not count out that 84 Duvall. He was the fastest in practice. He knows how to get around this track. So yeah, watch out for him as he moves into a podium spot there, 3rd place, and with a much better tire situation than the 21 in front of him. So probably shouldn't be long until we see Duvall moving up to 2nd place here. Better time than ever in the playoffs.
Yeah, we talked about, you know, you don't see him coming. He won at Charlotte. He won the opener for the series. He runs top 5 consistently, but he just kind of magically appears. You know, he's just an enigma wrapped in a question, and he's the golden unicorn of this series. You don't expect to see him, and then magically that 84 just finds his way up onto the top 5 or even that podium, and that's the kind of show he's putting on for us today as far as that goes. Still looking at 11 cars on that lead lap, but Jack Sanders 18 seconds back. He's only got about 8 seconds of space between him and David Cook. What do you think? We're going to see that thing close up in about 10 more laps?
Yeah, it's possible. And Jack Sanders, a little bit not upset because that paint scheme is a good-looking Earnhardt throwback, but let me show you guys on screen real quick. He had another one planned today that was actually going to be really cool. He even made a little poster for it, and it was a throwback to
Wrangler we need that Wrangler where he like leaned out of the car to wipe the windshield off.
Oh
Remember
my
that
gosh.
moment?
I remember that. What an awesome moment by him. But yeah, this was
he said,
what we
"Forget a
had.
seatbelt."
Yep, exactly. And he didn't do it under a black flag, so it wasn't like when Sterling Marlin got disqualified for that one time. He did that, so even better. We got a lot of throwbacks here. This one is a Days of Thunder throwback here from David Owens. Looking good, as always, rocking really colorful and good-looking paint schemes. We've talked about Case of Beer with his Tony Stewart paint scheme. That one, just a classic one that never gets old, right? A sponsor that I'm sure NASCAR misses very much. Vulpes with the Extends one. We've talked enough about that one.
Do you want to know
Hunter
who that
Hall.
is yet?
Yeah, who is it? Who is it?
It is the 2009 to 2011 Kevin Conway Extends car. Kevin Conway, who drove for Robbie Gordon Motorsports.
That's a deep cut, me and Gene. I love me some Robbie Gordon, but I didn't know that.
Well, I
That is
talked to
a
Joe
deep cut.
Vulpes, and he gave it away. Between Joe Vulpes and Wikipedia, we figured that one out.
Ah, well done. Probably had to do some Extends Googling there. I'm sure that was fun. Then we got Michael Mata throwing it back to Dale Jr. Got the beautiful, what's it called, photo shoot he did earlier today. Well done, Michael Mata. That one looks very, very good. Great use of the chrome. Love that. We've already discussed Iverson's as he's throwing it back to Jeff Gordon right there. And we got Buddy Sully
That's when he
throwing it
had
back
that
to...
mustache, right?
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, that was a great mustache from Jeff Gordon. And Sully throwing it back to Wood Brothers, correct? Anyone in
I think
particular?
so.
Is
That looks like
Elliott
the Morgan
Sadler?
Shepherd. I'm going to say that's
Morgan
the
Shepherd,
Morgan
yeah.
Shepherd days. Yeah.
That's a cool one. Congrats to Wood Brothers recently getting their 100th win in the Cup Series with Harrison Burton. Definitely deserving of a playoff spot, right, me and Jane? Definitely deserving of one. We've gone over that one, and I think
That's some
that...
ticket.
Oh, Austin Merrill, I mean, this car just always looks good. So, I mean, we can't even say this doesn't count, but this is the one that I've seen him run a few times, but always a good-looking 28 car. And we have Fritz throwing him back to an older, I mean, obviously Jimmy Johnson paint scheme, but Fritz always delivering on the good Lowe's paint schemes. And yeah, we got some really good-looking paint out here today, me and Gene. We really do. And oh, that's a classic.
The boys put
right
a lot
there.
of work
That's
into
a classic.
this. You got to be happy. The boys put a lot of work into this. Yeah, that Bobby Allison one is sweet.
Oh, I'm such a sucker for black, white, and gold. I don't know what it is, but it's probably like my favorite color scheme on a race car.
Are you a Steelers fan?
I'm not. I really don't know what it is. I mean, it's Daily Driver Zinc's colors, right? Like, shameless plug. It's our logo colors. So I'm a sucker for that, but I think that's kind of why I made them those colors. But hey, enough about me. Yeah, I just wanted to, all these guys did, like I said, everyone did a great job, and everyone did spend a lot of time making these beautiful paint schemes for this one race, so I wanted to make sure that we gave everyone their flowers.
Are you a Wiz Khalifa fan? You go black and yellow?
Oh, some black and yellow. Black. Actually, dude, Wiz Khalifa is, like, low-key really good, especially live. Just saw that dude at the X Games. He was awesome.
Yeah, something to think about out there, guys. No.
Right?
All right, so we're still racing. Duval,
We've gotten
5
on track.
seconds back in second place. Trying to close that gap, and he is. Look at that. He cuts off a half a second almost there. But that last lap, David Cook put down a burner, 29.7. He is one of the fastest guys out there on the older tires. And it's about that time. These guys are pushing 36, 37 laps on this tank of fuel. So it's about that time for these boys to start coming in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no way if you're a David Cook or a Jax Duvall to do anything different than what those cars that you were able to take advantage of right here just did. So pit with them, which I think you're dead on. I think we should expect in the next 3 laps we'll be in the window there to get to the end of the race. So this strategy could not have worked out better for Cook and Duvall. No matter what, essentially, as long as this green flag pit stop goes well for both of them, they're going to get out of here with a beautiful lead and the same tire situation as everybody else's. It's sketchy in front of him, and it looks at that 28 Amaro, I'm assuming, has potentially a fresher tire set than him.
Yeah, he's a lap car. He's on like 7 laps old tire. Not 7,
So-
7 or 9. So he's got
Always
faster.
a fun situation.
Ooh, but he's underneath. It's hard to pit when there's a guy underneath you, right?
Yeah, it is, and all. It's such a frustrating situation when you're David Cook there. You understand Mero, but you're like, come on, man, just make it quick, right? And get that dirty air away from me. But it's not a fun situation. I think we're not going to see Cook stretch this any longer than he has to, and it looks like it might be this time right here. It is, Mean Gene. Here we go.
He had to. There's nothing he could do. Let's see how
Oh, that was
Duvall
close.
responds. Duvall's going to respond to it coming in right after him.
Much cleaner pit stop from Duvall, or pit entry from Duvall. That was scary from that
Look at Buddy
71.
Sully. He's like, I ain't slowing down. I'm going to keep it up one more lap. Buddy Sully's going to take over the lead temporarily. Michael Mata looks like he's coming into the pits. Owen's going to continue to push his car as well as Tony Iverson. So a couple of different strategies here. We said 40 laps. There was that caution in the middle of this, but these boys got to be thinking now is the time.
Yeah, and they all have
How
the extra
about
set
tires?
too.
How about tires, right? Here we go again.
Wow, and
Here
another
comes
crazy
Owens.
entry. Owens, aggressive entry. And there's Sully in front of him. So everyone coming in, Mean Gene, so far so good. Let's see where they cycle out. That
This is
one
where you
extra
pass
lap
people,
is going to cost
right?
you.
Get them in the pits. Pass them in the pits. It's easier.
Exactly. Especially here.
All right. I see Duvall coming on out.
Yes, sir.
14-second pit stop for Duvall. 14-second pit stop for Cook. So lots of people with the tires.
Here
How
comes
about
Iverson.
David Owens in the middle of it?
Owens still getting those tires changed in there. Taking a minute.
Yeah, it looks
There
like
we
he
go.
took right and left.
Yes, he did. Good call from him. Don't know if you're coming back in here. So it looks like Volpis and Fritz electing to stay out right now, Mean Gene. Here comes
Yeah,
Fritz.
what's Iverson doing out there?
And there's Volpis. So that's everybody. That's everybody.
Here comes Iverson, finally.
Yeah, about time, Iverson. That's going to cost him some time on track, but maybe he feels like he can get it back on the tail end.
He's been fast all day, but there's been 5 guys that are just unusually fast. Duvall, he also is a fast guy. 28.9, 0.2 of a second off his fastest lap from the leader's fastest
Whoa!
lap.
I see debris flying in front of Cook. That's gonna be hard to find.
It wasn't a Baby
Oh,
Ruth rapper, was it?
It was not. It was an Alex Hillman rapper, I believe. Let's see. I don't know. Someone just had a big issue. It was Hillman. Cold tires out of the pits, Mean Gene, and watch. Want to see what a broken toe link looks like? Look at the way that wheel is faced.
Oh,
That's not
that
good.
is that emotional damage.
Yes, it is. And caution's out, Mean Gene. Caution
it
is
has
out.
to be. There's an entire right front quarter panel and a bumper on the ding track.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a debris caution last week, so we know they're possible. Was this just now? Because Michael Mata just went for a spin. Oh, no, Mean Gene.
Was that the caution then?
I believe it may have been. There were a lot of incidents on the exit of that corner just now, I believe.
There's a lot of people a lap down.
There
Jack
are.
Sanders, Matthew Fritz, Austin Merrow, Jonathan K. Sabir, all one lap down right now. They didn't need that.
Just insanity, Mean Gene.
Nobody's going to come in. You know, one of the
No.
everybody in front of them. The only guy that might come in and pit would be Parham, who's 15 laps into this run.
I agree.
But the other guys are going
completely
to
agree.
stay out for position. How does that work out for Parham? You know, suddenly Parham could come in, get fresh fuel, 4 tires. He's good to go.
Yeah. Oh, it works out great for him. I mean, as long as we don't get another caution later in this race, because I'm assuming maybe he does have an extra set after that. I don't know, Mean Gene. This is a crazy one. We're going to have to see how this cycles out. I will be back in 1 minute. Feel free to try to figure it out in the meantime, but I will be right back.
Oh, you know me. I love figuring out puzzles. Where's Waldo? I'm a champion. He's on the page. Always is the answer. All right, so another caution. We're at lap 91 right now. Cruising around. We're going to see who wants to take a caution pit stop. Right now, I think most of these leaders are just going to have to stay out. David Cook, he's run strong all day long. Jax Duvall has made his way up into the top 5 based on some amazing pit work and tire strategy. Buddy Sully, Justin Parham, David Owens, that's your top 5 drivers, though, that you got to keep an eye on. Tony Iverson, the guy is on fire. He's running in 6th place. Joe Volpa, 7. Michael Mata, 8. Jack Sanders, 9. And that, right now, is all the cars on the lead lap. 9 cars. 3 cars being put a lap down after that caution because of the spin of Michael Mata. Lights are on the pace car as we are bringing it around lap 92. We've got 30 laps to go. Everybody should have enough fuel to make it toward the end of this race. I wonder about the 18 of Justin Parham, though. Drivers told me they could make it 40 laps on fuel. So Parham already 17 laps into this run. Can he make those last 30? A couple of cautions have occurred, though, so he might be able to push it. It's going to be interesting to see how it works. Tire strategy also coming into effect. All the drivers wishing they had 1 extra set of tires, and I think we've seen most of them forego tires on at least one of their pit stops. So they should be good as far as making it to the end of this race. Playoff drivers we are a little bit worried about would be Matthew Fritz in the 48 and Austin Merrow in the 28. Both those guys are 1 lap down as they are part of our Elite 8, and they need to get back on that lead lap to get them the opportunity to take the win. A win and you're in. That is the goal of every driver out here. No driver has that in his sights more, though, than David Cook, who on points
he'd
did
love
not
that.
take a win in that first round of playoff races. So Cook would love to get back into victory lane.
I can't lie to you, Mean Gene. If even though it's only a handful of laps, like I don't know, 6 laps, 7 laps for some of these guys, I'd be tempted to take that last set. What if it stays green for those 30 laps? That would be a way to do something that no one else is doing. And there's only 9 cars in the lead lap. It's not that many passes you'd have to make. You know what I mean? But doesn't matter. No one did that. everyone wanting to hold on the track position they have, which again, also understandable. This is not an easy track to make passes at, as we've seen, and that's when the incidents are happening. But look how small this field has gotten, and we have a mixed bag of the strategies in terms of how much life these tires are gonna have on them, and how many tire sets are left in the pits. That caution couldn't have come at a better time for us, Mean Gene.
No, I agree. And I'm wondering, though, 30 laps to go. These tires are going to start to truck. Something bad could definitely happen. Coming around turn 4, David Cook on the inside. He is your control car in that 41. Let's see what kind of jump he can get. Duval on the outside. Great jump. That's going to put him so far ahead that Sully and Jax Duval side by side. Little push by Parham on the outside. Ooh, Iverson and Owens decide to touch, but they did not go full toe-to-toe. And both man and drivers managed to keep it going. We're single file all the way until we see the 07 of Vulpes. Him and Mata tried to touch with each other. And then we can see that beautiful Tony Stewart throwback car right behind them. Good restart.
Yes, very clean restart. And Tony, we can't stop gushing over him.
Stewart.
You confused me for a sec. I was like, what? Iverson, then I went, yeah. But yeah, we just cannot say enough about that 71 of Cook and his restarts. Man, that guy. I heard. Iverson with a massive hit. Iverson. Back up the track. Not like it matters because that car is destroyed. And I heard Owens as well. He looks like he's okay. Iverson is not. Oh, no, Mean Gene.
Owens. Look at Owens. He hits the wall and comes back, and he takes a bite right out of that Baby Ruth.
So you're right. He's going to hit the wall, and down he comes. Nothing Iverson can do. And this is going to be a disgusting hit.
Boom. And just like the first race of the playoffs, Iverson victimized, gets put into a hole by no fault of his own.
Look who's also spinning. Mean Gene. This is Michael Mata's on board. Oh, no.
What was that, like a sympathy crash?
It was a synchron. I mean, I will say, and I hate this. I'm not sure. Maybe it was that. I don't know if real life is this way, but it's so bad in iRacing, Mean Gene. When there's dirty air in front of you, especially a car that's spinning in front of you, it seems to just do the same to your car, and it's so frustrating. What I want to see here, though, Mean Gene, let's see what this looked like for Tony Iverson. Probably not even enough time to react, and not to mention how far your car is coming up the corner on the exit here.
Looks like Parham and Owens and Jack Sanders coming into the pit.
Nothing he can do.
Mm-mm.
And yeah, it looks like Mata maybe did have a sympathy spin.
Right back on the track, and there's Mata.
Let's see for Mata what happened. Yeah, Mata just gets loose on exit, and around she goes. That shouldn't be too bad of a hit. I think that 16 has used its fast repair, so hopefully it's not that bad of one. But wow, Mean Gene. Wow.
Yeah, that changes everything up right now. We've got 28 laps remaining in this race, and we can see some of the drivers choosing top 4 staying out. But after that, Parham, Owens, Sanders, Mata, Marrow coming in.
Tony Iverson has been in the pits for 1 minute and 10 seconds. 110 seconds. So
he's having a baby. He's probably going to move it up to a Snickers. Ain't going anywhere for a while.
Yeah. You want to try to pull him in?
Yeah. Pull my ex-wife in too? I think we might have the same kind of personality coming out of the driver. I think we're going to let that guy sit and think about it.
That's true.
I don't know him that well. He's probably focused on getting that car fixed, thinking about what it's going to take to get back into the race.
Yeah, I'm looking at that car, Mean Gene, and it's not good. Look at that. That's a broken toe link. He's sitting in the pits, taking the laps, which means it's probably required repairs, or else you try to keep that thing in the lead lap.
Well, so you got Austin Marrows in there with him as well. Austin now making the move. Austin did choose to just get a little splashy go of the fuel. So everybody's going to be fine on fuel the rest of the way.
Yes, they will. And there is another look at our points picture, as just to help you guys understand how big this could be for a driver like the 13 of Tony Iverson. Really only having that buffer of 18 points over a driver like Mata, who, lucky for him, isn't having the greatest day either. But Mata's still nonetheless on the lead lap. Iverson going to be likely stuck in 12th place, laps down. Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised on this restart to see, Justin Parham. He only had 6-second stops, so that probably means right sides. Mata, 14 seconds, so he's got 4 freshies. He could push himself up. In front of him is Vulpes and Duval, who've both driven really good races, but I wouldn't say that they're beating the brakes off of anybody as far as their lap times go. So theoretically, Mata, he's run some fast laps, 28.866, faster than those, everybody except for David Cook. So
I like
Mata
with this
good cut through there. He might be in a position, but Cook's, what's going to happen on this restart.
Yes, you do.
It's going to be David Cook going to drop the hammer. He's going to check in. Roaches check in, but they don't check out. I think that was a commercial somewhere. That'd be a nice throwback car.
That would. I agree. And yeah, I mean, watch again for this restart. We're going to probably gush over it again because we can't help ourselves.
Oh, you know what's going to happen. I'm fanboying.
Watch that 11 car.
5, 4, 3, 2. Oh.
And fanboy. Oh,
wow.
so good.
Look at that. Just gone.
Just
3.
so good, honestly.
And looks like the 21 spun his tires. Vulpes got into the back of him.
And around goes Vulpes. Around goes Vulpes. Oh, Owens into him.
Mata, Cook. Oh, there's a lot of drivers involved. Mata, Cook, and Vulpes.
Good eye, Mean Gene. You saw that way before it even happened. So it was the 21 of Sully, you said, missing 2 or spinning his tires.
Sully spun. Look at that. And then Vulpes gets in the back. Mata touches him. Owens figures, I'll just go underneath. Surely nothing bad could happen to me.
Here we go. Yep. You're
Here we go.
so
Look
right.
at the restart. Duval gets away. 21 must miss a gear right there.
He missed the gear. Yeah.
And you can see how quickly Parham, Mata fades up, takes it. He puts a pit maneuver on Vulpes.
Yeah, that's gonna. I'm sure there's some conversations going on now about that one.
Yeah, that looked like a Georgia State trooper.
Tough situation for Mata.
And then Matthew Fritz says, "Hey Owens, you know what? You ordered a salad, but I think you should go on and get the steak, my friend." And he peer pressures him right into a T-bone.
Definitely some.
I think you know what? That's not a pit maneuver. The 07 hit the wall, and then look, Owens is slowing down, but Fritz encourages him to go ahead and have the steak.
You are right. There is, if not wall contact, a reaction to almost hitting it, like right here.
Yeah,
you're right,
yeah.
And that does send that 07 down.
So it wasn't pit maneuver, but Mata definitely faded up the track and put Vulpes into the wall. And then there is 2/3 of Gulf Coast Racing just spinning. Ooh, the 28. Ooh, he scrapes the wall, but the 28 of Austin Merrow does make it through. That was exciting.
Yeah, this was a fun one for Merrow, wasn't it? Oh, God. Yeah. Look at how fast this almost happened to Merrow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's an intense one. But yeah, lots of stories there. I mean, Gene, maybe I jinxed David Owens there because I said to look for him. I loved his tire situation. Throw that out the window.
And how about Merrow from 0 to hero on that move? Because that guy was 3 laps down at one point, and now suddenly Austin Merrow is in 6th place, ready to put his moves on and maybe get himself up into that top 5.
Yeah, great job by Austin Merrow. What a recovery by that 28 car. Doing an awesome job today. And never saying die. And yeah, like I said before the broadcast, this really isn't a race where you expect a lot of cautions just because of the tiny racing surface, but they're finding a way today. And it's worked in Austin Merrow's favor quite a bit, and he deserves to be where he is. Good for him. Now he's going to have a chance at a top 5 here. Looks like his tires are... It's hard to say because he's been in and out of the puts. It's so hard to tell at this point, me and Gene, with the mixed bag we got here.
A lot of splashes going on. A lot of splashing.
And we're losing cars on the lead lap by the second. I'm not sure if Owens Okay, so it looks like Owens is going to do the drive around thing where you keep yourself on the lead lap, but it takes a minute to get the damage repaired that way. But that tells us that Owens does not have that fast repair. I'm assuming the majority of the field does not have theirs. But David Owens, just, man, the season of 2024 in the next-gen car has not been kind to him.
No, in the opening race of both rounds of the playoffs, painful for the 13 of Tony Iverson. Iverson still in the pits,
Still
7 laps down, getting it worked. He's
Still
got to
missing a
get it
fender.
back out there, though, to stay ahead of Hillman. Hillman 15 laps down. Would love to make sure that he can maintain that. Oh, Hillman actually is just connected.
Oh, Hillman called
so
it. Yep, lucky for him, Hillman called it. So that's
I
going to
wonder
help
if
him out.
Iverson's just doing the math. There's 21 laps left. So he's like, okay, I'll come out and run some laps. Maybe somebody else will wreck and go out. But now 8 laps down, Tony Iverson. Matthew Fritz 1 lap down as well. Would love to see the 48 manage to get back on the lead lap and start competing. This just has not been the track, though, for the 48 Bowtie driver.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm sure Fritz, even for him, probably just happy. I'm running here in 11th. My car's still running. It's healthy. I haven't made any enemies. It's sometimes that's all you need at Darlington. It's just a survival race where, like we've said, you're racing the track. But here we go with another restart. We know what Cook's going to do. We know he's going to blast off. Duvall has probably done a better job than anyone else sticking with him, but that still has not been anywhere close to enough to do anything meaningful. David Owens stayed on the lead lap there, so let's see how healthy that 11 car is. If it's able to do anything, you'll still have a tire advantage here.
Really
here we
dark
go,
out here. They've managed to make it to nighttime.
They have.
All right.
So we got a little bit of
The
transition
inside
race
car
here.
of David Cook is going to be the control car. Duval, Parham, Buddy Sully, second row. Let's see how close they can keep up.
Duvall needs to get closer as they get to the line.
All right, we're staying tight. This is a great start, but it is the least dominant start. Oh, Duval off the pace. Parham passes him. The 21 of Sully goes low. He makes a pass. Here comes the 16 of Mata. He's got to make a decision. And behind him, the 28, he's turned his day around. That's Austin Marrow. Ooh, Vulpes, he's got that thing on a straight line, touches Marrow in his no-no spot, but both of them managed to keep it straight. David Owens out there, how has he got that car in the top 6?
Shout out Kevin Kyle. But yeah, I agree. And David Owens, that 11 car, I was about to say that thing still has speed. Solely misses the bottom there. Really checks up. Everyone is completely out of patience. You can see it there from Vulpes. You can see it from Marrow. No one wants to wait anymore. It's time to get spots. But speaking of getting spots, no one's gotten one from our leader here. David Cook doing a great job holding up the field, but it is complete insanity behind him, and that's all he wants to see, as the Vol also did not get off the line the way he needed to there. Now fighting back against Parham, trying to regain that second place spot.
Yeah, Dustin Parham, he's on his own strategy as far as those tires go. He took them early, and then he didn't take them late. Look underneath Michael Mata. That's the guy I said, let's keep an eye on that guy, and he's putting moves. He gets by Parham, moves his way into third, and all that is stuck between him and that land of unbridled optimism is going to be Jax Duval. But Duval, he's run a smooth race all day long. Never has he been the fastest car, but he definitely could be called the smartest car as he finds himself in second place. Buddy Sully trying to cut through that traffic. Parham starting to fade back a little bit. Maybe that strategy wasn't the best thing. Vulpes trying to sneak by him. Austin Marrow.
What a move.
That was a great move there by Vulpes. Vulpes and Owens got together, spun their cars, but they seem to have hammered out the damage to at least let those things turn left. Wow, look at Owens. That car might be struggling, but he's not afraid to stick it in there and run wheel to wheel with the other drivers, Zach.
Yeah, Gulf Coast Racing is out of F's to give. They are going nuts, and wow, what a brilliant move that was by Vulpes. I really cannot stress enough how difficult it is to get the runs on the bottom there like Vulpes did. That was so impressive by him. And now you see Owens with just no patience whatsoever, working his way through the field as fast as he can, doing a great job. I think I saw Duvall looking to make a move on Parham as well, or racing Mata here. They both got Parham. Parham on an older tire situation, these two, and Mean Gene, you should buy. Oh, huge hit to the wall by Mata. Mata able to collect it again, but that was his chance to get Vulpes, and it quickly went away with that mistake. And another hit to the wall from Mata. Mata needs to get it underneath him here. This is a struggle, but I was going to say, Mean Gene, you should buy a lottery ticket because everything you've said would happen has happened, as Michael Mata is who you said to look for, and he has the speed underneath that car. He has the tires, but he needs to find the patience and decision-making. Those were two costly mistakes there.
You know, I actually do run a sports gambling line, but what we do is you wait until I actually wager on a game, and then you go against it. And that, my friends, is probably going to get you the win. But you got to wait till I put money on it, and then it's a guaranteed loser.
Wow, big hit for Parham back there.
Wide. What was that?
Looked like Parham got a big chunk full of the wall there. Let's make sure they make it through this corner before we... Oh, another big hit there from Mero.
That case of beer, all touching each other.
Yeah, let's take a look at that super quick. That looked like it was a nice slap to the wall. And it looked like it was Owens and Parham getting together. Wow. Yes, we did. At Darlington.
There it is, 4 wide at Darlington.
Leave it to this league, Mean Gene. These guys know what I put on a show.
Oh, my word. They are still racing hard. And you know who loves to see this? That's the guy with the 3-second lead, and that's David Cook. He doesn't mind at all. Michael Mata chasing him down, but I don't think he's going to have enough time to make that happen as that lead continues to grow and grow, just like that extends car of Joe Vulpes. Duval in third, Buddy Solly fourth, and the aforementioned extends.
Massive hit from Duval that time, Mean Gene. Massive.
Look at that 21 right there, putting a move on Duval after that move. Here comes Vulpes. So again, Duval has not been the fastest car, but he's definitely been the smartest to find his way up here into this top 4. Buddy Sully, Michael Mata, and David Cook, though, those guys have all been running on a rail. I'm a little sad to not see David Owens be able to show us what he is capable of, because I know that 07 of Vulpes and that 11 of Owens have got to be suffering some damage. They probably have a lot of repair left on those cars.
Yeah, they're driving the wheels off of them the best they can, and it's extremely impressive. Same goes for Jax Duval with the slaps to the wall that we've seen that 84 ticket. Cannot believe he can keep it in a straight line going as fast as he can. It's been so impressive. And yeah, Mean Gene, alluding to the 71 and the 16 of Cook and Mata, I was keeping my eyes on the lap times, and you were dead on once again. I don't think Mata can do it. The lap times aren't there, and the time isn't on his side. And even if we get a restart, we've seen what David Cook can do on restarts. So good luck to the rest of the field to getting that 71. But that does not mean that the rest of these spots are not up for grabs and are not huge. What Duval is doing today, Mean Gene? Oh, exactly.
If you're gonna get Cook, you got to Austin Dillon him on the restart.
Oh God.
You got to come in hard, smacky, and then just talk to the MRL officials afterwards.
Exactly. Then we have to talk to the officials.
Unless there's a miracle, this is a David Cook situation.
Yeah, it very much is. But what Duval's doing right now, Mean Gene, that's how you get to the round of 4. That's how you get to the championship race, is by making smart decisions like this and getting good finishes. If the win isn't going to be possible, like it doesn't look like it is for Duval right here, just make sure you top 5 it, right? That's how you get your way to racing for a championship.
It's really amazing to watch, because Duval, when you speak to the driver, he is a mercurial kind of fellow. He has strong opinions about every topic. Right there, you can see Joe Vulpes making his way. Him and Duval now battling for that spot. But behind the car, everything changes, and Duval just has that ability to fade away from all of that outside noise and shut it off and just do what he needs to do behind the wheel to get that best result. Really amazing to see how some drivers, you get a Joey Logano who smiles and he's so nice off the track, but once he gets on the track, he just becomes an entirely different individual who is aggressive and not very courteous of anybody else. But you get a Jax Duval who is the exact opposite. The guy is super volatile and excitable, but he gets behind that car and you can just see him. He's aggressive, but he makes really good moves in that car. Yeah. Really smart moves too. That's really what I want to point out, is how Duval had that strategy on lockdown.
Very calculated moves by Jax Duval. Yeah. It's very true. Yeah. It's how he got his win early in the season off a field strategy race. Again, you always need the raw speed to even be the first car on a certain strategy, but Jax Duval, one of the guys that, like you said, he can be Yeah, I think abrasive is the word sometimes in the Discord with his personality, and there's nothing wrong with that. Jax Duvall has a huge personality, and that's welcome. But yeah, when he gets behind the wheel, he is a completely different person. He is very to the point, very calculated, and really just knows how to get the job done. And what we're not talking about enough either, we talked about it a good amount earlier in the last caution, but when you see a driver like that 13 and Tony Iverson have those issues, and you're Jax Duvall, you need to take advantage of that. You cannot come out of here in 9th place or something because of a mistake you made. When you see Tony Iverson being forced to finish in 12th, you got to get a good finish out of that, right?
Yeah, Jax Duvall, 4th place in points right now. He would love to scoot his way up because right now, Iverson and Buddy Sully or Cook and Sully are ahead of him. So he's got to take that opportunity to get ahead of Iverson. You know, something we're not talking about is how about the ride that we're seeing out of the 11 right here, this little battle between Quesabir, Volpus, and David Cook or David Owens. Owens is just trying to keep this thing. I got to ask him when we're done exactly how much damage is on that car. So surprised that he can even keep that thing moving straight. And the bravery that he's had, really good side-by-side racing by Jonathan Quesabir, first with Owens and now with the 07 of Volpus. And here we go again.
Yep. And we're gushing over Gulf Coast racing a lot now. Let's gush over Quesabir a little bit. What a drive. He has been through hell and back in this race, and now he's finding himself fighting for a 4th place finish at an extremely difficult track. Quesabir known for his super speedway skills and success, not the type of driver that you'd expect to throw him on the most technical track on the schedule and to just have a brilliant performance like this. But here he is. Hats off to that number 6 Tony Stewart throwback of Jonathan Quesabir with a great run here.
Yeah, and he's looking for his buddies, but, you know, Bobby Dodson not running today and Michael Mata already up ahead. So he's pretty much on his own out there against those 2 teammates, but he cut through there and finds himself up there. We're on lap 124. Remember, the only lap 125 is going to end this thing. David Cook with that 4-second lead. He's got to feel good about this. Basically, just get the thing around the track. You know, don't be a Arrington Senna and blow the thing up with 1 lap to go. And he'd be able to wrap this thing up tighter than you're going to need to when you use that Extends product. Look at Cook go. He's on that outside lane just looking so smart.
Michael Mata out? Michael Mata just disconnected. Oh, no, me and Gene. Okay, we'll deal with that. Let's give David Cook his moment here. I'm sorry about that. Michael Mata is out of the race, though.
Wow. Not good. But David Cook bringing it around one last time. And there it is.
Yes, sir.
David Cook is your winner, chicken dinner.
Congratulations, Mr. David Cook.
Buddy Sully is going to bring it around for that 2nd place finish. Congratulations. Buddy, he is 7th in points. Needed that run to help himself. 3rd place going to be Jonathan Quesabir. Heck of a day by MC Motorsports as
Owens
he
with
finds his way up into 3rd place.
Owens with 4th, I'm sorry. That's a great finish from David Owens.
I thought after he got spun that his day was done for sure. But yet there he is. Joe Volpus going to finish 5th. Jax Duvall 6th. Austin Merrow 7. Justin Parham falls back into 8th. Jack Sanders 9th, and Michael Mata looks like he's being shown as 10th, even though he disconnected.
He, luckily for him, disconnected with 1 lap left, so that didn't hurt him. I'm trying to figure it out right now, Gene. I'm assuming it's another connection issue. I'm assuming we're going to depressingly just watch him disappear here. Yep, that's what happened. Oh my gosh, imagine, I mean, I know that probably hurts for Mata right now. Imagine if he was leading the race. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, packet loss.
I'd cry. That happened to me once, Gene.
Yeah?
I had 5 minutes left in the race and a 20-second lead.
Ooh.
I was very sad.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to end a race. I'll tell you what, let's bring in, I'm going to go hunt him down. Don't know if he wants to talk or not, but you know what? That's too bad. I'm going to chase down a guy and see what happens. Oh, wait. He's moving. He's moving on me. Let's see if I can get him. Here we go. Hey, David Owens. Can you hear me, buddy?
I got you.
Man, David, fourth place, probably not what you imagined when the race started, but it definitely couldn't be what you imagined when you were pushed straight in for that T-bone steak. How much damage did you have left on that car?
Um, I got about a minute and a half of damage. Got most of it fixed. Turned back in to get the other 30 seconds done, and forgot to uncheck the fast repair. But I'll take it because it come out to a better result anyway.
I'll tell you what, you and Joe Volpus both really on fire there at the end, even though both your cars were looking a little bit under the weather. Now, I got to ask you this. You ordered the steak, or you ordered the salad, but it looked like Matthew Fritz insisted that you get that T-bone. You still had that fast repair in your pocket at that point?
I did. I had a 0x too.
Wow. You didn't want those points, did you?
Yeah, I did want those being the playoffs. So,
well, I tell you what, the first stage of that race, we were really impressed with what you were doing, cutting through traffic, qualifying 12th, and yet managing to find yourself in that top 5. I thought you were definitely going to be a car that we were going to be looking at in the end. And if you take David Cook out of the situation, you were competing there at the end with those other drivers. Anybody you want to give a shout out to here, David?
You guys here up in the booth. Kevin Kyle, for when he does able to make it, he does a lot for us. You, me and Gene, Zach Panzarella, and Buddy for all the work you did behind the scenes, getting everything together for the broadcast, and everybody that helps make this league what it is. Couldn't do it without everybody that shows up week in, week out. The admin team, John Beverly, Steve, Joe Volbus, myself, and Duvall. You know, we try to make this as fun as possible and put on a show for everybody with all the drivers.
Tell you what, you guys did more than put on a show today. Thanks for what you did out there, man. And looking forward to seeing you next week when we bring it to Atlanta for the second race of this Elite 8 championship. Thank you so much, David Owens, driver of the number 11 Ford.
Awesome job, David.
Believe
that was great.
I got you something. I think I got you a little bit of alcoholic beverage in there, Zach.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I do see a case of beer in here, don't we? Oh, yeah. And so let me get a case of beer. And after this, me and Gene, look who's in here. We got Tony Iverson in here. Told you he'd be in an okay mood. And we have all night, so we'll interview a few more people here. But case of beer, I got to talk to you, man. That was an unbelievable drive. In my opinion, one of the best drives we've seen from you all season. A truck like this, so challenging. And you completely just harnessed it, and you never said die. So take me through your day today. It looked like you got to experience about every part of the field today.
That's what she said. I would have loved to have not been taken out by the 25 that one lap. I mean, I was being as patient as I could with my tires, trying to let everybody by, and it looked like he just stuck his nose below me, like in dead center of the corner. That killed my car, and I got stuck a lap down for a long time. Made my green flag pit stop, and as I'm pulling off pit road, the yellow flew, so I was like fourth car a lap down. And just had to try and fight for a lucky dog, and then once we got a yellow, Mero was out in front with a lap down, so I had to wait even longer. And then with 20 to go, I finally got back on the lead lap with some fresh tires, and I just had to try and maneuver some people from there.
Yeah, I honestly almost forgot about that incident with the 25 of Sanders earlier. That was an intense hit that you had to experience there. What was the mindset there and the ultimate goal of that pit strategy with, I believe it was you and Cook being the only two staying out, and it looked like just no tires, right? You guys didn't even take two?
Yeah, no, I took no tires. I assume Cook didn't either, with him beating me out. But it was too early for me to want to take tires. I knew how important they were going to be, so I didn't want to take them just yet because it was just a little early.
That makes sense, and yeah, it clearly ended up being the better strategy at the end of the race, so congrats on that, Jonathan, and we're showing on screen now. Thank you for participating in the throwback theme, and that was a beautiful Tony Stewart throwback you had going today. So congratulations, man, and it was so awesome to see you. I know something that's known for your Super Speedway success, but to watch you tear it up on a track this technical, this difficult, was super, super cool to see, and congratulations. My last question for you, and before if you have any shouts to give, were you looking forward to this track? Was this scheduled on your calendar, or did you surprise yourself out here with how well you navigated one of the most difficult tracks in the schedule?
This track, every time I see it on any schedule, is circled. But it's not because I expect to come do well. It's because I have never completed any length race at this track on
Wow.
at all. I've never finished. I've always wrecked out, disconnected, never finished. But I sat down with my teammate Michael Matta earlier in the week, and he sat there and just kind of told me what I was doing wrong each corner, and I ended up getting within 600ths of his best time. And if I'm close to him, I know I can be close to everybody else.
That's awesome, dude. And yeah, I mean, this track, it's racing the track. You'll hear us mention it a million times in the broadcast, but that's what you got to do here. And it took me a long time as well to finish my first Darlington race. And when I saw 125 as your lap count, I was not envious of you guys. So hats off, man. Great finish.
Thank you. Yeah, when I saw 125, I thought, after I felt good in practice, I was like, why can't we go a little longer?
Hell yeah, man. All right, me and Gene.
Wow.
Well,
That's how
if
we
you
look
don't
at
mind-
it, right? At the beginning,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
terrified, and by the end, we're super excited. I think you got. I think you got. I think you got the 13 in here, Zach.
Yeah, I think we do. Tony Iverson, got you here, man.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, it's that Tony Iverson voice. Well, we wanted to bring you in right when the incident happened, but Mean Gene wouldn't let me. But take me through that moment. Take me through
It's
today's
true.
race, and it is. He's like, is Tony that nice? I'm like, he's that nice. But if I was you, I probably would have been pretty upset there. But what happened in your opinion there in that incident, and what's your viewpoint going into these next few races here?
The race started off with me getting just slammed right into the wall by the six and getting wheel damage. So I kind of had a feeling it was going to be a long one, and I was not happy about having to use my fast repair on the first pit stop. And but yet I was still able to keep my car in the top three with the damage. So I was like feeling pretty good. And then right when the car's healed up and everything, it was odd. I was actually like better on a short run, which usually isn't the case for me, but it felt pretty good though, especially with the way the end was going. I liked the situation that I was in on that last restart I was involved in. And I saw everybody was just so high up coming out of turn two, and I was like, and I could just tell that I was the only one running the right line. And I was like, well, these guys are all about to hit the wall, so I need to go as low as possible. And they did. They all hit the wall, and I went to try to go as low as I could and still got hit. And the violence of the slam into the wall was gnarly, but yeah, I was disappointed. I was frustrated for sure, but now it's just kind of manifested in a disappointment because it's a long season to get to this point, and I felt like I was doing enough to keep where I needed to be. And now we're going into the second super speedway race and a playoff schedule, which is whack enough as it is. So you're gonna have
You
to
got
try
a
to
6-point
survive.
lead. You got a 6-point lead over the fifth place driver still.
Yeah, it's scary going into Atlanta of all places, but if we can get out of there in one piece, I think I'll be okay at Richmond. And yeah, so I'm definitely disappointed. I felt like I had a pretty good car today, and yeah, that's how it goes.
True that, Tony. I mean, it's Darlington. So much can happen. I think it's even more than 6. Oh no, you're right. You're right. Me and Gene, you're completely right. But yeah, it's tight going to a track like Atlanta, and yeah, it's crazy. It's another super speedway, a little bit different than Talladega in terms of the way you approach it. Do you have a game plan now that you're in the situation? Will this be a kind of hang in the back and wait for your moment race, or are you gonna go out there and try to control it?
Oh man, with Atlanta, it's so hard. I mean, I feel like with the way that Talladega went, it seemed like this was one of the few groups I've raced with where nobody wanted to play follow the leader. It was a fun race to watch. Like I loved the Talladega race in this group more so than I normally like any of those kinds of races. But I just have a lot of a lot of fear about how that style will translate to Atlanta. everybody's going to be wanting to lead the most laps. And I feel like it's going to be the way Talladega was, but even ramped up a little more because of the tighter quarters and the fact that when you do get into a long run at Atlanta, it's easy to lose the rear and not know what's happening. So that makes hanging in the back scary too. So yeah, I think I'm just going to do the Dale strategy and try to stay ahead of the wrecks.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That track does seem to wear tires more than your average super speedway like track. I guess because there isn't one. But yeah, you do end up getting looser than you expect, especially on that entry. Well, hey Tony, great job today, man. Always a pleasure watching you up front. And hey, you're giving us some drama that's going to make these next 2 weeks more fun for us. So we thank you, man. Thanks for hanging
I'm
out
glad
long
I
enough
could
to.
be of service.
Oh yeah, always, man. And yeah, thanks for hanging out to be here for the interview. Always a pleasure, man. And yeah, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Well, you guys, of course, and you know, I'll give a reluctant shout out to David Owens for the paint scheme today. But
That thing looked
no,
good.
yeah,
That thing looked really good.
Emotional
I hope
damage.
But yeah, and then a shout out to the wife, of course. That's why I chose this scheme. She likes a Baby Ruth bar, so we won't show her the replay of the car about flipping off the wall, but
Like we're showing right now on the air.
but yeah, and then shout out to the league owners and everything, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this pans out.
Thank you so much, Tony.
Yeah, you guys.
I was going to ask him though. Hey Tony, still there, bud? If you were going to grow a mustache, would it be the Dale Earnhardt mustache or the Jeff Gordon mustache?
Man, you know, that's a damn good question, man. I think I'd probably have to go the Dale stash with the Gordon haircut.
That is hard. That is hard.
That is.
I'm gonna have to interrupt and say, you can't leave out Ryan Blaney's mustache.
Ooh.
Yeah, whenever Roger lets him actually grow it.
It curls at the end.
Mm-hmm. You know, Roger Penske makes
curls
him
up
shave.
at the end.
Oh, we got other people to interview.
All right, I got to bring this guy in because I messed with him pretty hard during the race, but he came through with that consistent result. Hey, Florida man, Jax Duvall, you there, buddy?
What up?
I'll tell you what, man, you were what's up. You ran that car until it had nothing left. How much tire and how much gas did you have left in that thing at the end?
Plenty of fuel burned up the right front, but it's a track that's hard for me, so I'll take top 10 here.
Hey man, it was hard for everybody, but that was something. You know, we're looking at speed, you know, like lap times the entire way, and you're never busted into the top 5 as far as a lap time go, but you sure busted into the top 3 for a good portion of that second part of the race. Was that your strategy? Was it something you did in the pit that let you get up there? It seems like you just avoided the mayhem in the back.
The first stop, I didn't take tires. That helped get up there, but was hoping we could have more green run, but it is what it is.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's you maintaining your positions, keeping third in the point standing, and you only got a 2-point lead over Buddy Sully. He's a hard charger, and your pal David Owens right behind there. But Jax Duvall, you have put yourself firmly in this playoff race. You a fan of Atlanta?
I love Atlanta. Can't wait to get there.
You hear it first. Jax Duvall, Florida man, is going to take that thing wide open on the mean streets of Atlanta. Anybody want to give a shout out to, Jax?
Just you guys, me and Gene, Zach, thank you for all you guys do. You make this worth it. And to all the admins, thank you.
Hey, buddy. Good working.
We did
with
our math
you.
well today. We did our math well today, Jax.
Awesome.
Hey, I'll tell you what, when we all have our shoes off, that's an extra 20 positions and points that we can count. Nothing but the best for you fans at home with the MRL broadcast team. Thanks, Jax. Good run tonight, bud. Looking forward to seeing you at Atlanta.
Thank you.
All right, you got a sling for the next guy?
Oh, man, Mr. David Cook? The guy racing for a championship?
No, you can't. No, we got a guy with a that needs a sling.
Oh, so we're bowling more people. Let's do it. All right, who's next up?
The second place finisher.
Wait. Am I confusing myself over something?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Buddy Sully here, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
How's it going, buddy? How you doing, man? First of all, how you feeling?
Oh, it's perfectly fine. Luckily, you don't use the shoulder too much in the old iRacing, so everything's all good.
Yeah, well, that's honestly kind of surprising me. I felt like you would, but good to know that injury didn't affect you too much. Yeah, for those who don't know, Buddy Soley racing through an injury today, and you wouldn't know it by how impressive you were. And yeah, I apologize. I got confused there. I thought that for some reason I thought that Jax was our second place car, but no, Buddy,
which
you
arm
were.
is
And yeah, which is
Left
it?
arm.
Oh, that's better, right?
Left shoulder, yeah.
Oh, right.
I only got to worry about shifting with that arm, so.
That's better then. Well, Buddy, you
Yeah, 'cause
also
you
had a
still-
crazy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You can still stick your hand out the window and give hand signals to the appropriate people when you need to.
Yeah, as long as the elbow's not above the shoulder.
Well, speaking of that, you had a super eventful day today, buddy. I'd go as far to say more eventful than we often see from you. What was it like out there today at one of the most challenging tracks on the schedule? And I made the assumption that you were to be one of the people to look out for with what you've shown us on the other technical tracks on the schedule. So did you have this one circled?
Darlington's not really one of my favorites. It's always a super tough track to pass. And with it being so tough to pass, it takes a whole lot of risk taking, I guess, in order to get anywhere on the track.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And me and Gene, what does it mean when Buddy tells us that he's not good somewhere or he doesn't like somewhere?
Yeah.
It means that
he's going to win, right?
Yeah,
it means he's going to win.
So good to know this was one of your not liked tracks. But beyond that, Buddy, you are now our last place, or the last car that would make the championship race if the championship started tomorrow, tied with David Owens. A few spots, only one behind Jax and 5 behind Tony Iverson. We're going to a super speedway type track next. What is your approach for these next 2 races?
For Atlanta, I wish I could call in sick because I absolutely hate that track.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Should we start making the winning graphic now?
Oh no. Atlanta is not my forte at all. I hate the quad oval, that wall that's right there on the outside. Absolutely loves the right side of the car. I do like Richmond though. Richmond's a fun track, so hopefully I can just stay steady going into Atlanta and then make up whatever happens in Atlanta at Richmond.
Makes sense. I mean, yeah, Atlanta is a hard one to kind of figure like I'm gonna get that win and then I'll go into Richmond doing what I want. But Richmond, a track where you definitely can control your destiny a little bit more. I also feel the same about both those tracks as you do, quite exactly the same. So thank you, Buddy. You're making the time out here. You're doing this full-time playoff schedule, and you are not disappointing, man. In position to make the championship if you just keep doing what you're doing. Any shout-outs you want to give? And thank you again, as always, for all the help you give to us.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. I do want to shout out Mata because that is such an unfortunate thing that happened to him at the very end because he literally dropped connection right at the start-finish line, which caused him to lose second place. That is unfortunate, but shout out to my wife and Tony and David Owens and Cook. Cook was really, really fast tonight. I was hoping I'd be able to race around him a little bit more, but he was just gone, and it was hard to get anywhere in traffic. So, and then you guys with the broadcast, it's always super fun to go back and watch.
Well, thank you, buddy. I need to take some lessons for you sooner on how to make my broadcast as good as what you're capable of. But thank you for all you do. And yeah, I honestly, Mean Gene, I had like blanked out what happened to Michael Mata because I felt so bad for him. But I said this when it happened, buddy. At least he wasn't leading because, oh my goodness, I don't know if I'd ever get over that if I was him, if I was leading in that situation.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to win I wouldn't want to be the second place car in a situation like that because I wouldn't want to win that way either.
Oh, I agree. Tell David Owens that when he got my road win. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much, buddy. You're awesome, dude. And congratulations on the second place finish. Great job.
Thank you.
Buddy Sully, he pushes his way up into 4th place, 1 point ahead of David Owens and tied with David Owens. All right. I'm blind.
Yes, that's
tied
right.
with David Owens for 4th and 5th as they're going to head into Atlanta next week. And all roads lead to victory lane. But only one man found his way there today. He took Cook's lane, and that thing led right up to the top of the podium. That's the 71 Chevrolet driver, David Cook. David, you got your ears on.
Hey, ears on.
I'll tell you what, man, every restart was a nightmare for those other drivers. What is the secret of getting a good restart?
I don't know. I guess just timing and just trying not to do the exact same thing every restart, and just trying your best to, do what you can within that restart zone, and go right at it, in the middle of it, at the end of it, reverse it. Just do what you got to do to get away.
I'll tell you what, every restart, it seemed like you got a really good jump. That last one, not so much, as these guys did manage to keep it a little bit closer, but it just seemed like the strategy that you had working and the way you piloted around that outside lane allowed you to just get that gap. I'm going to take you back in the race. Lap 67, that's when you made that pass to find your way into the lead. Did you feel dialed in at that moment, lap 67? Was that the moment you knew the clean air was yours?
Yeah, I think once I think it was Buddy Sally at the time, right, for the lead, and then once I was able to pull out a little bit of a lead, so I think I got up to a second lead. I felt really comfortable, and I was like, well, this is how it's going to be at the end of the race. I think I might be able to pull this off.
Yeah, seeing you pilot through that thing was amazing. I do want to know, though, early on, you chose not to get tires. Was that part of the tire strategy? I heard a few of the drivers saying they wished they had one more set of tires for this race. Did you know you were going to have to forego tires one pit stop and just chose to do it early?
Yeah, I just waited. I was kind of worried that we would have a bunch of wrecks at the end there, and I would need another set of tires. So I decided just to hold off there and bite the bullet and just try to stay in the top 10 during that run. And luckily it played out.
Well, Lady in Black claimed 6 drivers throughout this thing, one of them being the leader, Tony Iverson. He got caught into a little unfortunate incident with David Owens, and that pushed him back, but I don't think anybody was going to stop you today, David. This thing looked like yours from the get-go. 4 fast drivers, 2 of them kind of vanished at the end, and you just overcame this track and dominated. Now you got that 16-point lead going into the next race, but more importantly, you have locked it in, and you're going to be in that final 4. So congratulations on that, David. Heck of a day. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Thank you. Yeah, I got a lot of people to thank for getting me into the chase with the top 4. I'm really excited for that. And Atlanta next week, I want to say thank you to Sim Rapid Market. They do my paint schemes every week, but this week they weren't able to get one for the throwback. So it's Thomas Nolan on Trading Paints. So I got to give him a shout out for his paint on Trading Paints. You guys, the broadcast team, I appreciate you. My dad's got COVID and he hung in there with me. So I appreciate Dad. Poor guy, he's sick as a heck. And we went Ricky Craven style at Darlington tonight. Felt good.
That was a very nice car and a heck of a good run. That's right, David Cook. He will be in the final 4 for that showdown at Michigan. Can't wait to see it. Atlanta next week, though, David. So good luck. Keep it on the straight and narrow, and hopefully we won't see you in the infield care center. That's David Cook, the winner here today, as he tames the track. Too tough to tame, but not too tough for David Cook. Congrats again, buddy. Have a great night.
Thanks so much. David. Great job, buddy and Jonathan. Thanks again to you, broadcast team. See you guys next week, and everybody watching.
Oh, yeah. And everybody at home also, take this opportunity. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Make sure that you are aware of the next time we broadcast. We will also be on Wednesday for our Xfinity race. Those guys are also locked deep in their playoff race, Wednesday night Xfinity. Right here on MRL Broadcasting. So, Zach, final thoughts as we're going to leave the Lady in Black.
Yeah, shout out Papa Cook. I hope that you're feeling better with that COVID. Brutal, but hope he's feeling better soon. And congratulations to David racing for a MRL championship. Really no better feeling. Just to be there and have that chance at that championship is a huge deal. That's not talked about enough. How big of an accomplishment it is just to get there, me and Gene. So congratulations to David Cook. And with the, I guess you can say, misfortunes of drivers like Iverson and the clutch, amazing performances from drivers like Jax and David Owens, they have set the stage for a really, really competitive race to our final 4, a championship 4, with only 3 spots left for grabs. We have Buddy Sully racing through an injury as well. So just tons of awesome stories going on. And don't want to discount Fritz, Mero, or Mata. 3 guys who are capable of wins and are definitely not out of it on points. So we got a lot left to race for, Mean Gene, and 2 really crazy tracks to do it at.
Yeah, it was amazing, though, to see number 47, Mr. President number 47, go ahead and call out David Cook to be in that Final Four. So really good call there by the president-elect on calling out today's race winner. Final thoughts for me, amazing to see how many times these guys could play slappy with the right side of their car in that wall and still manage to make it through. That wall, though, did cause a majority of the accidents, as it seemed like cars would bounce off and hit some people. Most significant victim of that would be Iverson, but Iverson still with enough points and in a good position to move forward here in the playoffs. So gonna be heading to Atlanta next week. Hope to see you guys joining us. Once again, as always, it has been our pleasure to bring you MRL Monday Night Mayhem. We are in the playoff series. Can't wait to see you next week as we continue this Elite 8. 2 more races to see who that Final Four will be in Michigan. I'm Mean Gene Money. Got Zach Panzarella, Kevin Kyle at home, but always in the booth with us here in spirit. Can't wait to see you next week. And as always, my friends, bottoms up and hammer down.
Devil's hide behind redemption. Honesty is